Well, I got stuff in front of me. I guess that's a start. I'll tell you, Bruce is really going to love having that roll-around cart to manage his tools. And I think he'll soon find that the tools on top of the cart are better suited in a drawer somewhere, or possibly in the lower part of the cabinet or the top drawer, because having a parts station, an area where you can set parts, at least to me, that's the business. So here's the carburetor that I initially started the 6-horse Briggs with, and it's in pretty good shape, so I'll go through and clean it up and rebuild it at a later date. And that being that special top, if I come across another 6-horse with the updraft, we'll need some PB blaster. And let's break out the, oh no, I didn't finish that, did I? Let's break out the big channel locks here so we can be sure to get these little suckers off of here. Oh, we got a screw head on the other end. Fun. Not. And a tiny little screw too. Alright, you stay still and you come loose. Let me try to tighten you first, huh? Again, like watching paint dry, isn't it? I don't want to hurt these. These are just pot metal wing nuts, and I don't want to hurt them at all. Alright. Let's get a bigger screwdriver out. We'll just try to hold the wing nut static and turn the screw. There we go. That's the ticket, Zippo. You'd be smarter than the object you're working on, I guess. Boy, what a massive carburetor. I know I keep saying that, but for a 9.6 horse engine, I mean, the Venturi isn't huge. The inlet, just, I'm assuming that's the float bowl, is just massive. Okay, there's number one. Spin you around. Oh, one tab's missing off of this wing nut, so I guess I don't have to be so careful, huh? That's alright. And it's bent. Use the right tool for the job. See if we can straighten that out a little bit. Yeah, straighter than what it was. It's still got a little whoop-de-woo in it, but good enough for me. I know, this is boring. I will probably just edit this part out and, and show you guys just the inside of this carburetor, which is what we're patiently waiting for, huh? Or you guys just sit there and enjoy me babbling on about absolutely nothing. I'll get that bolt straightened out. We didn't get our parts tray. We need our parts tray probably. Enter parts tray. Pretty bizarre. Big sucker. Alright, what do we got inside? I see a butterfly. And that's for the choke. And the choke arm is bent. Just a little bend. Easy, easy, easy. Don't want to break anything. There we go. Sounds a little crusty, doesn't it? Alright, and here's our butterfly. It's just right there. And I see the shaft is here and here. So I think I'm just going to soak this. And we'll get done soaking it. And then we'll worry about seeing what's inside. Let's see if it rattles. It rattles. That's good. That means the float is floating. What a bizarre looking setup. And looks like our idle and main adjustments are right there. Yep. Main jet and idle. And get the flashlight on, show you guys down inside there. You can see the main jet in the back, and then the idle is just a tiny little pinhole right above that. Can you see that? Yeah, there's a good shot of it. So, pretty simple. I would call that an updraft carb as well. Let's get it apart and see what the insides look like while we're letting that lubricate. Okay? That one came loose, good. That one came loose, good. That one came loose, good. Awesome. This one has a spring attached to it. It is a throttle return spring. We'll hang on to that so it doesn't snap and go all over everywhere. There's two screws on the bottom where the choke plate is, and they simply hold the bottom cover on to mount the air filter. We'll keep that, obviously, in the parts bin. Let's go ahead and shoot this while we're waiting. A little bit there, a little bit here. And get a little bit inside too. Boy, that paint should just about be dry by now, huh? No washer on that one. There is a washer on this one. I always watch that because people lose these tiny little washers that are on the screws, especially on the Briggs. The tiny little lock washers there. Tells me if someone's been into them or not. It looks like somebody has been into this one. Let's go ahead and drop this air filter plate off. It's surprisingly clean, on which that's just fine with me. The cleaner the better. Here we go. What do we got sticking? We got the lower gas. All right, we got a gasket on top and a gasket on the bottom. I may as well shoot this with a little bit too. Show you guys this choke arm. It's kind of unique. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. It's only on one side. That's it right there. Oh, that's moving a lot better already. Okay, let's give it a gentle tap with the cute tiny little 12-ounce dead blow. Little love tap. Oh, might have to take all 4 screws out. It won't come apart without that last screw off of there. But maybe I still knocked it loose. My hand's in the way. Get your hand out of the way, Zippo. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's see what we have. Make sure that the gasket is... Hang on. This is a artist paint spatula, and it was long like this one, but it has a curved handle. I just cut the end of it off. You can see here kind of the shape. It used to look like that. I cut the end off and I sharpened this end, not knife sharp, but sharp enough so that like a carburetor like this that, you know, I'm probably never going to find a gasket for. I can possibly, and I know I'm a big advocate of always replacing all the gaskets. I'm talking about on, you know, newer, more practical, more easily accessible engines, and those that are not as practical or easily accessible. You always try to save the gaskets as best you can. Especially this is just going to be, you know, a shelf engine. It's not something that I'm going to put to work. And it looks like we lost part of the gasket down here altogether. So me trying to save it is kind of an effort in futility. But we'll keep on going. There we go. It broke loose there. And the gasket may be there and I just can't see it. It is. It is there. I just can't see it. One last little bit. There we go. So the whole gasket, excuse me, is intact. Wow, nice and clean. I'm very pleased about that. Right on. I can handle that. Okay. Interesting float too, isn't it? Let me see here. Yep, and we can see down inside here with the help of a little bit of light. Float is doing its job, which is good. And this arm right here just looks like, boy, it sure does look like it's just solid brass. It doesn't go in there. Got this weird piece of plastic in here. I'm not going to muck with any of this. I don't think I need to. I do need to take that off and clean this out. I'm talking for almost 11.5 minutes here. We'll go ahead and pause. We will call this part 1. I'm going to see if I can't find something out about this carburetor and what this needle right here is all about. I think it is just to align everything. That's just my guess. I'm not positive, because down here I've got 2 little blocked off passages, and that's where that goes when this goes together, you see. So I think that's just an alignment pin. I don't think there's supposed to be a hole in it or anything, but we'll check it. Anyway, instead of you guys watching paint dry, we will catch you on part 2. Well, this is definitely one of those learn as you go things, because I told you guys I'm not familiar with this carburetor, but the main jet is what that rod was, and the end of it goes into this hole and meters the fuel by adjusting up and down. Also on this is our 4 holes here and holes down here along the stem, 4 more of them. So Zippo's learning as he goes. So that would go in there. So I need to make sure that that passage is clear, and I will certainly do that. I'm going to leave that sit right there. I also pulled the idle circuit out, and it's fine. A little bit rusty, but otherwise fine, just from the spring. And we don't have the butterfly loosened up yet. So let's give that just a gentle tug. A little bit of convincing, see if we can't get that thing to start moving for us. Really, really carefully. That makes me nervous. Nervous. I'm going to work on that off camera to get it loosened up, and then I will tell you guys what I did to loosen it up so I don't make the video 5 miles long. But right before I do that, we will go ahead and shoot the pivot points again with way more PV blaster than we need. And then I'm just going to give it a couple of light love taps. Brass, so no worries, okay? And I'm just barely tapping the thing. Oh, it's moving. Okay, that's good. Cool. It's moving pretty good now. I should be able to turn it. Right? There we go. Yeah, boy. Loosening right up. Got to be careful with this stuff. Yep, there we go. It's free now. Working really easy. I'll work that a little bit more. We'll get everything all put back together, and then we'll go pay attention to the points. Uh-oh. About lost float pin. We'll get this all put back together, and it's just the reverse of what we did to take it apart. I'll show you this needle here. I got to clear that one passage out. There's the main. It just drops down in there, and it has, here it comes out the bottom. See it coming out the bottom. And there's 2 sets of threads. 1, 2. I'll get it down to where it starts and just screw it in. Take it home. And I won't screw it all the way in right now because obviously it's not going to be bottoming out on the fuel bowl where it needs to, so that I can make the primary initial adjustment to it. So we'll get this little port here, make sure that it's cleared out and cleaned out. We'll blow a little bit of air in there, make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do, and we still have to pop that out yet. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Looks like 3/8 to me. What does it look like to you guys? Look like 3/8? Huh? Huh? Let's use an old vintage snap-on here for this one. Is that 3/8? It is. Come out of there nice and easy. Oh yeah, butter. That's great. Gasket looks good. Well, we got another jet type, and it is clear. You guys can see. Oh, let's go ahead and break out the carb cleaner here. We'll spray it, get everything clean, get everything put back together, and then look at spark. So stay tuned.